trường để chúng ta bắt đầu chương trình ngay lập tức. Vì hiện bây giờ đã là 8 giờ 50 rồi. Theo đúng chương trình thì chúng ta bắt đầu lúc 8 giờ 45.
Cái lưới xem này không có, chỉ là cái lưới này của mình. Lưới này của
kính thưa quý vị, chúng tôi xin phép là chúng tôi nhận thấy có rất nhiều quý vị quan khách ở đây, bên hội cựu nhân, bên cộng đồng đều có đây cả, nhưng mà vì cái thời gian chúng ta đã trễ 15 phút cho nên chúng tôi xin phép là chúng tôi không có qua cái phần mà chúng tôi ghi nhận cái sự hiện diện của quý vị ở đây. Tất cả các diễn giả lên nói chuyện chắc chắn họ cũng sẽ có cái phần acknowledge quý vị có mặt ở đây. Để bắt đầu chương trình, chúng tôi xin kính mời bác sĩ Nguyễn Anh Dũng là chủ tịch của cộng đồng người Việt tự do ở tại Tây Úc để lên bắt đầu cái lời khai mạc. Xin cảm ơn bác sĩ Dũng. Xin kính mời bác sĩ Dũng. Trong lúc mà chúng ta chờ bác sĩ Dũng thì lúc nãy quý vị thấy trên bàn nó có những cái tấm bảng là về liên quan tới cái việc mà 9,9 năm, thì chúng tôi đề nghị chúng ta trong đại hội chúng ta cầm lên những cái tấm bảng đó để chúng ta phản đối cái việc mà nhà quyền cộng sản Việt Nam đang đưa ra cái dự án mà cho những cái khu đặc khu ở tại Việt Nam, cho những cái tàu cộng ở tại Việt Nam để thuê những cái khu đó làm đặc khu 9,9 năm. Xin quý vị chúng ta cùng dơ lên để mà chúng ta chụp một tấm hình để mà chúng ta gửi một cái thông điệp ra bên ngoài. Chúng ta sẽ mời bác sĩ Dũng lên trên này.
Trời sẽ không yêu đất, sẽ không tha rất là nhiều khả năng. Vì là sẽ đầu vào đường tàu xe sự công đó là bạn trong
kính thưa toàn thể quý vị, xin mời toàn thể quý vị ổn định ngồi để chúng ta bắt đầu. Trước khi chúng ta bắt đầu, chúng tôi xin thông báo cùng quý vị là có hai lối thoát hiểm, phía bên tay trái, phía bên tay phải của chúng tôi đây. Và cùng lúc đó trong quý vị của hội thanh niên và hội phụ nữ trong nhà bếp có muốn nói với quý vị là đồ ăn lúc nào cũng để sẵn đó quý vị, nếu cần xin tự nhiên dùng. Bây giờ chúng ta bắt đầu hai ngày đại hội. Good morning everyone. Now I would like to invite Dr. Anh to deliver the welcoming speech. Chúng tôi xin kính mời bác sĩ Nguyễn Anh Dũng để
kính thưa toàn thể quý vị, chúng ta đã làm lễ khai mạc hôm qua cho nên là vấn đề mà hài danh để mà kính thưa chúng tôi cũng nghĩ chúng ta nên bớt lại, tại vì chúng ta điều gì cũng là đồng nghiệp và cũng là những người cùng một chí hướng, không có phải là quan khách gì. Thì chúng ta họp nhau ở đây cứ 2 năm một lần để chúng ta có những phương hướng hành động và cũng như là leader của cái cộng đồng người Việt chúng ta trên toàn nước Úc. Thì tôi xin phép được không có hại tên được quý vị, xin quý vị tha lỗi. Lát nữa thì có người Úc thì tôi sẽ nói vài câu tiếng Anh ngắn gọn thôi để cho chúng ta có thể bắt đầu. Đầu tiên đó là cái hội trường này đáng lẽ chúng ta đến từ tối hôm qua để mà chúng ta set up nhưng mà không được vì có người xài, cho nên sáng nay đó thì 6 giờ sáng đã có trời tối hù đã có các anh em đến rồi. Và đặc biệt tôi xin nhân dịp này đó để cảm ơn thứ nhất hội kỹ thuật là cái hội đứng ra luôn luôn làm cho chúng ta những chuyện trang trí cũng như là các cái logistics. Thứ nhì nữa là hội cao niên, là cái hội mà quý vị thấy các chị mặc áo dài đẹp đó, thì mặc dù là làm bếp nhưng mà bữa nay mặc áo dài rất đẹp để cho không khí hội nghị chúng ta nó càng thêm phần vui tươi và trang trọng. Chúng tôi cũng không thể nào quên được những quý vị mạnh thường quân, mà những gì chúng ta nhìn thấy hôm nay ở đây như những bông, những cái tài liệu in ấn đều là do những quý vị mạnh thường quân, đặc biệt là nhà bếp, anh Chính chẳng hạn, và các vị bên cao niên cũng đã bỏ ra rất nhiều thời giờ để chuẩn bị. Và tối nay đó chúng ta sẽ đi tham dự cái đại hội, đại nhạc hội, để thứ nhất là relax, thứ nhì là ăn tối, và thứ ba là để nghe nhạc. Người ta đến, người ta cũng để chào mừng mình. Chúng tôi cố gắng làm nhiều chuyện cùng một lúc, cho nên là công chuyện này nó rất là kinh khủng. Cho nên hôm qua ông Han ông nói tôi là ông nhìn nó nói sao xuống ký vậy, thì tôi nói là các cái muốn xuống ký nhanh nhất khỏi exercise vậy, cứ việc đứng ra tổ chức đại hội liên bang là sẽ xuống ký. Mà tôi phải cảm ơn vợ tôi là cái người đứng sau lưng và làm gấp 10 lần tôi, mà sao đặc biệt bà lại không xuống ký. Người ở thầm phía sau thôi, mặc áo vàng hồi nãy đó, thì đó là người điều khiển cái trường tiếng Việt và điều khiển luôn cả tôi nữa. Đó là cái tinh thần Việt Nam mình rất là hay là như vậy. Thì sau lưng tôi còn có ban chấp hành, đặc biệt là anh Chắn, các anh em của ban chấp hành như là anh Phước và bác Hải, rất là nhiều người, không thể nào có thể lấy tên ra hết được. Thì hồi nãy đó thì đặc biệt chúng ta thấy toán rước quân kỳ đó là của bên hội của quân nhân. Và quân nhân thì luôn luôn là hội sát cánh với chúng ta. Bữa nay thì mặc đồ rất là oai phong lẫm liệt, đi rước quân kỳ, cũng như là năm nay là cái vinh hạnh của tiểu bang này được tiếp đón toàn thể quý vị ở đây. Chưa thấy có một đại hội nào mà quý vị đến đông đảo như vậy. Chỉ có một tiếc là như ông Papalia tối qua nói là không phải là đi chơi, thì ông là bộ trưởng bộ đi chơi mà bộ Gaming and Tourism. Thì đặc biệt đó là có bà Tracy Roberts là người thị trưởng mà luôn luôn gần với chúng ta. Bữa nay ngài mặc áo dài, cho bà sẽ cho bà một tràng. Yeah, probably the most beautiful lady today is Tracy Roberts. Thì đó thì cái phần cảm ơn tôi cảm ơn hết rồi. Thì nếu có ai sơ sót và ai không thấy nói tên mình thì đừng có buồn, tại vì nó nhiều chuyện trong đầu lắm, không thể nào nhớ hết được. Chúng ta sẽ có, đáng lẽ chúng ta khai mạc đúng 9 giờ thì tôi được 10 phút, mới không nói có 5 phút rồi, cho nên nói thêm một chút nữa là hồi nãy đã lịch sử của cái tượng đài để biết rồi, thì cũng nói là công ơn của bà Tracy Roberts rất là nhiều, và là người đứng ra và bà rất là ủng hộ Việt Nam mình. Bà ấy nói một câu là nếu nó không cho làm ở Việt Nam thì chúng ta làm ở đây, đó là cái điều mà chúng ta rất là hân hạnh. Rồi cái hội trường này là bà ấy dành cho mình, cũng tích tiền nhiều lắm đấy, nhưng mà điều mình sẽ tìm cách để mình overcome cái đó. Okay, I know I speak some English, so the our guests won't get lost. So we you already did the translation. That's good. Okay. Thì nhờ có anh Bon là Nguyễn Bông, nói tiếng Anh tiếng Pháp đó là tốt đó, ông làm mọi chuyện đều tốt cả. Thì lát nữa đây thì chúng ta sẽ bắt đầu. Thì chúng ta sẽ có người thư ký và người làm về projector cho mình. Thì hôm nay đặc biệt là sẽ có bà dân biểu NL tới. Thứ ba nữa là có người đại diện cho Police Commissioner sẽ tới. Tại vì năm nay thì Police friend với mình rất là nhiều, kiểu anh biết là friend rất là nhiều, tại có nhiều người ở tù mà. Thì chúng ta sẽ có chương trình đó. Bây giờ thì có lẽ tôi xin được giới thiệu anh chủ tịch của giới thiệu bà Tracy Roberts là người sẽ mở đầu cho chúng ta vài lời. We would like to invite the mayor, our beloved mayor Tracy Roberts, JB, to come and have a few words with us. Please welcome Tracy Roberts. Do you speak in Vietnamese today too, or I need my interpretation?
Thank you, everybody, and I'm going to try and pronounce this. This is not what I normally pronounce. It's Chabu Sang. Chow Boy Sang. Good morning, everybody, and thank you. It's a real pleasure here at the City of Wanneroo to host this event. I would like to acknowledge, and I know he'll be here very, very shortly, Dr. Anne Alley, the Federal Member for Cowan, Ms Margaret Quirk, Member for Girraween, and Ms Janine Freeman, Member for Mirrabooka, who I know that we all met last night and who spoke so beautifully. And also to your national president, Bon Nguyen, thank you very, very much. And your love for your community shines through, I have to say. And also to Dr. Anne here to my right, who is such a strong advocate, such a strong supporter, and once again with a really good heart for the Vietnamese community. And I acknowledge that all of the national presidents are here today, the VIPs, and so many who I would love to acknowledge one by one, but Dr. Anne knows I talk for a very, very long time and said, keep it brief, keep it brief. So I would just like to say a very, very warm welcome to each and every one of you, and thank you so very much for making the journey over to the West. I'd also like to begin by respectfully acknowledging the past and traditional custodians of the land on which we are meeting, the Wajak people of the Noongar Nation. But here we are, the Vietnamese Community Australia's 24th biannual national conference, and here in the city of Wanneroo. And as the mayor of the city of Wanneroo, I am so incredibly proud. As I drove down Kandula Avenue, I saw everybody gathered around the Peace Park, and to me that was actually quite a moving sight. It was an emotional sight, just to see everybody there and looking at the Peace Park and engaging, and that's what it's all about. It's a place where people can sit and can reflect. So looking at you all from the road, from my view in the car, it was very, very special, and it was very, very moving. So to have people from, everybody from around Australia here was really, really very special. But a little bit about the city of Wanneroo. We are one of the largest growing local governments in Australia. We are the largest in Western Australia and the second largest Australia-wide. Our population this year is currently 212,000 and is expected to grow to more than 400,000 over the next 2 decades. So with that comes a lot of challenges and a lot of growth. But we are incredibly proud to have such a multicultural diversity within our community. More than 45% of our residents are born overseas. And this is important, the fact that these residents have chosen to make our city their home. The Vietnamese community are indeed a truly valued part of our wider community, making very important contributions to all aspects of Australian life. We now have more than 3,000 residents who have emigrated from Vietnam, and a further 5,000 residents with Vietnamese heritage living within our city. Residents who own and run businesses, who provide employment for other residents, and who provide much needed support and services to all members of our wider community. The Vietnamese community has especially contributed to our agricultural sector over many, many years. And do you know, today, 60% of vegetable growers within the city of Wanneroo are first or second generation Vietnamese. First or second, absolutely, 60%. Together with our other growers, the annual output of their hard work and dedication to agribusinesses accounts for more than 3.5% employment in the city of Wanneroo, which equates to 1,000 jobs. So your community has created 1,000 jobs and produces annual sales in excess of $424 million. I am also extremely proud of the cultural contribution the Vietnamese community does make to the lives of those living within the city of Wanneroo. Our annual Tet Festival, we call it our annual Tet Festival because working with my good friend here, it is an hour, we are a team. And we hold that at the wonderful Wanneroo Showgrounds each year. It's a fantastic example of how everybody can actually work together to celebrate the importance of culture and diversity. It's a highlight, an absolute highlight in the city's calendar, isn't it, Dr. Anne? Attracts many, many people from right around the metropolitan area, taking the amazing sights of all things about Vietnam. And everybody says, you're so going to go to Vietnam. And they just really engage within the local community. It's inclusive celebratory events like this that help bring communities together. They help build that understanding. The result is a connected, a vibrant community for everybody to enjoy. So I sincerely do thank the Vietnamese community in Australia and our WA chapter and the many, many volunteers who worked so hard to organise the event, but also to ensure that we all are connected and that we all care about each other with very big hearts. Our city, the city of Wanneroo, enjoys a very close working relationship, and one of the fruition of the projects is the Cđnvtd Peace Park. We had a working group, and Dr. Anne and I were quite intent on what we really wanted for the Peace Park, and we've achieved that with the working group. But it's designed to be a place for quiet reflection, a space for commemorative community events, and for those impacted and who are connected by the Vietnam War. But it's so very fitting to have such a dedicated memorial in our community to the Australian and to the Vietnamese men and women who gave and sacrificed so much for the Vietnam War. The centrepiece, as you have seen, of the Peace Park is a symbolic sculpture which references the Battle of Long Tam and represents the past, the coming together in the hardship of war, and the future, living in a harmonious community. The sculpture features panels of cotton, steel and aluminium to represent Australia and Vietnam. A lotus flower sits atop the sculpture, symbolising something good and something very beautiful, and the fact that this can come from the dissolution of war. And you feel quite emotional when you reflect and think about all those things. The important addition to our community, a special place of reflection, was made very possible by this gentleman to my right, your President WA, and that is Dr. Anne, who was diligent in ensuring that this occurred. And I also have with us Anne Trung, who's a past councillor of the city of Wanneroo, who is also very hard working for this to occur. And I would like to thank everybody involved with the working group for their valued contribution to such a significant project within Wanneroo. This is part of our history and our community. But we also have, in this building, we have our seniors, the thriving seniors with the Vietnam. They are amazing. They teach me to line dance. They teach me all of these fabulous things and the creativity and the cultures, and they correct me when I'm wrong in my pronunciation. I'm actually really good at reading. I can't understand Vietnamese, but I'm really good at reading the body language. So I can see happy, unhappy, and I can see sad, I can see pride, but importantly I can see heart. I can see care and I can see love. And that's what it's all about. That's what it resonates when you walk into this room. And our Vietnamese seniors they have this room Monday to Fridays, and they have all of their events. For me as the mayor, it's a place to come, and I know that we can enjoy. We can enjoy one another's company, and I know there's going to be a very, very warm welcome. I'd like to acknowledge Dr. Anne Ali, who's just arrived, the federal member for Cowan. Hi, Dr. Ali. Today represents, and last night represents, Parliament House. We were at Parliament House last night, and we also heard from Minister Papalia and the Leader of the Opposition, and I think Dr. Mike Kidnan. And I think what the most important thing is you have got so much support, local government, state government and federal support and federal government. The reason for that is because you deserve it. You deserve every piece of support that you possibly can get, and it's given abundantly. It's given with love because we care about you. We love our Vietnamese community. You are you're so integral to the life of the city of Wanneroo and our community. You've just seen the stats, the employers and the contribution, especially with the growers, and that's just a small portion. But I would like to wish you all a very successful and enjoyable conference. And how we have, what did you sneak into? Just one big quick hug. Another fabulous supporter within the community. So everybody enjoy. Thank you for coming to the city of Wanneroo. Thank you for holding your conference here. And Dr. Anne's kind of giving me, come on Tracy, I've seen her. But I could talk for ages about the wonderful Vietnamese community within our city. Thank you.
Chúng tôi có thấy sự hiện diện của bà dân biểu liên bang NLE, Dr. NLE, và đại diện cho cảnh sát, Commissioner for Police, đó. So they will be speaking very soon. Trước khi tôi giới thiệu thì tôi cũng xin cảm ơn City of Wanneroo là người tất cả cao sở đã ủng hộ mình, và đặc biệt là cảnh sát hôm nay đã để ý đến mình rất nhiều. Thì bây giờ tôi xin mời bà dân biểu NLE lên phát biểu. Dr. NLE, you are invited to deliver your speech today. Please welcome Dr. NLE.
Thank you, Dr. An. Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for inviting me to say a few words at this very auspicious occasion. First of all, I must apologise to Dr. An and to the committee for being a little bit late this morning. But sitting there this morning, I was looking at all the states that are represented, and we have capital city, I imagine is Canberra, Queensland, Victoria, New South Wales, WA, Wollongong, South Australia and Northern Territory. So I think it's very appropriate for me to welcome you all to WA, the best state, right? Now, I had the honour of meeting some of the delegates yesterday. Dr. An brought them to me in my office, and we had a wonderful discussion about some of the themes that you'll be talking about over the conference over the next 2 days or so. Very, very important themes, very important issues that you'll be talking about, not just for Vietnamese Australians, not just for the Vietnamese community in Western Australia and New South Wales and South Australia and Victoria, but for all Australians. For all Australians from all backgrounds. Very, very important issues, and I wish you the best of luck with that. I understand that the opening last night went very well, so congratulations on that. Again, I give my apologies that I was unable to attend. I had a prior commitment. But I do want to wish you the best for the next 2 days. And I do want to stress just how important it is that you have these discussions and that you have resolutions and solutions. Again, not just for your wonderful community, but for all Australians. I've seen the wonderful work that the Vietnamese community in Western Australia does, and I particularly want to mention your young people, your children, and the way that you raise your children with a very strong sense of identity, a very strong sense of language and culture and heritage. You will often hear people say, oh, Australia is the most successful multicultural country in the world. Okay? But what does that mean? What does that mean? What does it mean to be a successful multicultural country? And when I look at the Vietnamese community here in Western Australia and across all of Australia, and particularly when I look at the strong sense of identity that your children have, that is passed down from parent to children, the pride that they have when they speak in Vietnamese language, and when they take part in Vietnamese shows, when they sing the Vietnamese songs every year at the Tech Festival. Okay? This is what is a successful multicultural society. That we can have people from all countries in Australia who are Australian, who contribute to Australian society, who do wonderful things for Australian community, but who know who they are. They know who they are, and they know where they came from, and they have that strong sense of being Australian and very confident in their identity as Vietnamese background as well. And I understand that's something that you'll be talking about as well over these next 2 days. So once again, I wish you all the best for your conference. Welcome again to Western Australia. We tried to put on some nice weather, but at least it's better than Canberra. Enjoy the rest of your conference, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Trước khi tôi mời người kế tiếp là tôi sẽ để lại cho cái phần MC cho người MC, thì tôi cũng xin một lần nữa những cái gì chúng ta có hôm nay nếu mà không có những nhân vật sau đây như là bên anh em Việt Tân, cựu quân nhân, hội cao niên, hội phụ nữ, các anh em tị nạn, các ban chấp hành của tôi và đặc biệt là những người của trường tiếng Việt, thì chúng ta không có những cái ngày hôm nay, không có những cái gì chúng ta được thưởng thức. Thì tôi xin nhường lời lại cho phần người MC để mời tiếp tục các quý vị, vì chúng ta theo dự định là chúng ta sẽ bắt đầu vào khoảng có 9 giờ rưỡi hơn. Thank you.
Now I would like to invite Inspector Don Emilio Smith, representing the Police Commissioner, to have a few words. Chúng tôi xin kính mời đại diện cảnh sát trưởng có vài lời.
Good morning, everybody. Just put this up. The ladies are a little bit shorter. First of all, I'm representing the Commissioner. I'm not the Commissioner, in case you think so. His portfolio is too big. And he apologised. He's actually on holidays, so his invitation was sent through, but however, so I'm representing him here today. My name is Don Emmanuel Smith. So if you understand Latin, Emmanuel actually means God be with you. So I'm Don God be with you Smith. How's that? Congratulations today on the conference. It's a great gathering here. Sam, my officer, is just standing there at the moment behind you. Say hi, Sam. Hi. I'll talk about Sam in a moment and the importance in working with you guys. But look, today it's a gathering of people from all over Australia, and it warms my heart a lot this morning here to see you all here. And I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that you are on at the moment, which is the Whadjuk people, which is the Noongar race, and Anne Alley, and Tracy, and Dr. Arn. But guess what? You're all important. And I acknowledge my brothers and sisters in uniform as well. So today I'm going to talk on behalf of the police. Before we go there, I'll let you know I run the Multicultural Engagement Unit, I run the Youth Policing area, I run the Aboriginal Engagement area, and I run another area which is very important, which is called Substantive Equality. And basically, sitting here today, and Multicultural and Substantive works in that same space where everybody is treated equally and we all have an important role to help each other in society today. So I wrote a couple of little points down because I never know what I'm going to speak about. I have a fair idea in coming here today to keep it short and sharp, but interesting to see what the police can do with working with you guys and how you can work back with the police. Just down the road, and I'm taking a look at all the states here, and I'm scratching my head because there's one sort of state that I'm really getting my head around. That's called Wollongong. And I was down there last November, and I know Wollongongites are a little bit different. I can understand why they got their own table, especially when you got New South Wales sitting there and you got Wollongong. But you know, I barrack for the St George Football Club, and it's St George, Illawarra in that area, so it's all encompassed together. So I understand. Just down the road, I often say when I open a speech, we sort of talk about Mirrabooka, which is down the road here. Some of you will have heard of that area. And that is the most diverse place in Australia. And before you start going, hang on, Cabramatta, it is the most diverse place, but I always next say Cabramatta in Sydney has this largest multicultural community. I think that's still the case in Sydney because of the Vietnamese people that founded that place. And I look over here at Mirrabooka, and for those of you who don't know, we have something like 61 nationalities and 102 dialects in one little suburb. It's an amazing mix. But there's a reason I'm telling you that, is because if we step back in time to WA, and I look at Don, who's got some heritage, I think, of French, Danish, German, English, Irish, And it's only 175 years ago that this place was founded. And when I look at your country and the steep traditions of the past and history and civilization, who's an immigrant? So this place is founded on immigrants. And I look at the Vietnamese community and they hit these shores, and I'm 60. I've been in this job 36 years, and I look at this area around here, and I remember the Vietnamese community arriving up here and then having a little deli on the corner. And I tell you what, you guys were the best businessmen ever, and you still are the best businesswomen. If there was some way of bonding together, just like the Italians in the past, you worked out that unity came to work together, working in strength is where you helped each other. And before you knew it, you became mainstream, and then you were third and fourth and fifth generation within Australia, and you're mingling in now with the rest. And the biggest thing I always say to the new communities is, basically, when you come here, we talk about two words. We say integration and an assimilation. The word integration means we want you to become us. Well, we don't want that. We want you to assimilate into Australian ways, but we want you to maintain your identities and your traditions so that they add into the rich tapestry of Australia. And that's what's happened. And I congratulate you. So in moving forward, I want to talk to you. Dr. Anne talked about something very important. That's basically about your youth and then partnerships and then how the police can work with you. But before we go there, I'd like to talk to you about your food and why I'm a little bit late. I've got events everywhere, and Dr. Anza, I acknowledge the Muslim time of Ramadan at the moment, which is there's things going on everywhere, and they have their iftar dinners, and I've got another one tonight. And there's just dinner after dinner, and your guys' food is amazing. So Sam says, "Where are you for breakfast?" And I'm sort of like on a bit of a diet, you know. But I've got events everywhere, and I do apologise. But look, your food is amazing, and but I love the idea that food comes with greetings, comes with culture, comes with everything, and it's a sign that we eat first and enjoy the food from each other's countries, and then we talk about business or we talk about what our issues are, because there's nothing worse than talking on an empty stomach. But guess what? I got one of your coffees. Your youth. I look around and I see a lot of wise heads, and I see some young people and I see some seniors, and there's a rich blend here that's needed in life within our cultures. Because the youth need guidance, but then again they have the deaf ears that we all had when our parents spoke to us. And I quoted a story yesterday where I went and talked to a bunch of youth at a school just down the road here, and they were all different ethnicities. And I was having a talk to them about life skills and where you're heading, the importance of staying on the right side of the law, not having a criminal record, and working hard at school so that you have the best future possible for a career. And then I had one of the parents, an African lady, come up to me later and sort of say, "Don, can I have a word with you?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "You nearly had a murder last week in my house." And I went, "What?" She said, "Oh yeah, my young son came home and said to me, I had a policeman called Don and speak to me at the school. And he was amazing. He talked about all these wonderful things that I should do." She said, "By that stage, I had him by the neck because I've been saying the same message for 10 years, but he's listening to you, not me." So in this space, it's about finding the right people in your community to speak to your youth, because your youth are your future. Without your youth, without them embedded with the straight ways and the healthy ways, you're going to have troubles like every other community. So I encourage the older people here who have the wisdom to listen to your youth, and the youth that are here, listen to your elders. There has to be a balance between the both. And in that space, you'll find a common goal where you're both communicating with each other. Today has changed with social media, etc., and also the ways that we think. But embedded within us, we are still human beings, and we still have the same hopes, dreams, and aspirations, and we have problems as well. We must work through the problems. So work hard with the youth and find mediums that you can work with them, whether it be music or whether it be art or whether it be sport. These are healthy mediums. In working with all the various communities, whether it be the new and emerging African communities, the Middle Eastern communities, and the Asian communities, from say people from Burma, the Asian communities, and this is why I have Sam working for me, I realised whether it be the Chinese community, the Burmese community, the Cambodians, or the Vietnamese, or the Indonesians, you guys actually have the same problems as everybody else, but you are very conservative and very quiet and don't speak about issues. That doesn't mean to say they're not happening. And in the end, the cork pops off the bottle, and we have this problem, and we go, where did that come from? But it's always been there. Domestic violence, your youth under drugs and alcohol and fighting, and all these things are still sitting there with every community. I implore you, do not ignore these things because they will fester and grow like a sore, and you must deal with them. Strange as it may be, the Vietnamese community, the older ones here, know that you had problems with your youth in the past, especially in times of settlement, social cohesion. These things are happening with the new communities now. Loss of identity, wanting to belong, marginalisation. These things now you can address because you know how you are living in mainstream, and a lot of you here have got Aussie accents. So you need now to even look back and reflect and say, how did we fix those problems before? How did we work with the police? Talking about the police, I have one police officer there, Sam, speaks 9 languages. Sam here is here to work. Give him a round of applause. In working with the different communities, you might say there's a police station down the road, but that's very hard because that police station on the road is working flat out to keep the community safe, protecting you against criminals. So your larger community groups might say, where are the police? What's going on? My little area is to work with you in relation to engagement and working on healthy outcomes for the future. Whereas a normal police station, he tries to get to come and meet with some of you, your local sergeant, but his world is smashed with crime. He's trying his best just to keep the 000 calls and the normal calls to keep you safe at home. So have some patience because I've got Dr. Anne there. She understands the world of money. In times of austerity, it's tight everywhere with debt everywhere. So money is not so easy. So this is where you need to partner with other people. Partner and work together and find ways of getting the best results from things that you're researching that work with your youth or with other problems with your seniors, etc. So from now on, I encourage you, I'm going to finish now and I hope I've made some sense, but I encourage you to try and work with your local police stations. Take the time, you elders or your leaders, to go down to your local 24-hour police station and introduce yourself, and even if you've just taken 2 minutes to ask to speak to the officer in charge and say, I need you to know who I am, and here are my youth people, here are my youth leaders. If you have a problem, please call me and we'll work together. And from our area, we'll always be here to work with you. We are stretched far and wide, but we do care and we are listening. And thank you for your time.